She was the mafia king's only daughter. He was the most feared alpha vampire to ever walk the night. They were never meant to meet, but when they did, destiny broke its own rules. And what happened next will shock you. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories like this one. Let's begin. The rain came down hard that night, hammering the streets of New York like angry fingers. The Romano mansion sat on a hill far from the noisy city lights, silent and cold like the heart of the man who ruled it. Marcus Romano, the most feared mafia king in the East Coast. Inside the mansion, Isabella Romano stood in front of a tall mirror, trying not to cry. Her father had arranged another meeting. Another rich man. Another business ally. Another puppet groom. She hated all of it. Her dark hair fell over her face as she wiped her tears with the back of her hand. "I'm tired of this," she whispered to herself. "I'm tired of living like a prisoner." The door burst open. Her father entered, dressed in a black suit, cold eyes watching her like she was a deal he needed to close, not a daughter. "Isabella," he said sharply. "They're waiting downstairs. Fix your face. You look weak." Isabella clenched her hands. She wasn't weak. She was just tired of pretending. "I don't want to meet him," she said. "I don't want another arranged marriage." Marcus's eyes hardened. "You don't get to want anything," he said. "Your duty is to this family. Everything I do is to protect you." "Protect me?" Isabella laughed bitterly. "From what? Love? Freedom?" His jaw tightened. "From things in this world you don't understand," he said quietly. "Things that want you dead." Isabella blinked. Dead? What danger? He never explained. He only controlled. "Enough," he snapped. "Get downstairs." But Isabella didn't move. "No," she whispered. Marcus stepped forward, voice rising. "You are my daughter. And not your property," she cut in, surprising even herself. The air went still. Marcus stared at her for a long moment. Disbelief, anger, something else. Then he pointed to the door. "If you do not go downstairs," he said slowly, "you will leave me no choice but to lock you in this house. Forever." Isabella's heart raced. Lock her in. Forever. Something inside her snapped. She pushed past him and ran. Down the hallway. Down the stairs. Through the back door. Into the night. The rain soaked her instantly, but she kept running. She didn't know where she was going. She just knew she had to get away. Away from expectations. Away from fear. Away from a life that wasn't hers. The streets grew darker as she wandered into a part of town she had only heard rumors about. Blackthorn District. The place people whispered about. The place even the mafia avoided. She should have turned back. But she didn't. She felt a strange pull, like something was calling her forward. As she passed an old, abandoned alley, she heard a low growl. Her heart froze. "Hello," she whispered. Another growl. Deeper this time. Closer. Isabella stepped back, but shadows moved around her. Dark forms crawling toward her like living nightmares. Her breath caught. Their eyes glowed faintly. Their mouths opened wide, sharp teeth gleaming. She stumbled and fell to the cold, wet ground. "Help!" she screamed. One of the creatures leaped at her. And stopped mid-air, suspended like time had frozen. A man stood behind her. Dressed in black. His eyes glowed silver under the rain. He held the creature by the throat with one hand, lifting it like it weighed nothing. "Pathetic," the man growled. He crushed the creature's neck with a snap. The others backed away, hissing before melting into the shadows. Isabella stared up at him, shaking. He turned to face her. He was beautiful. Dangerously beautiful. Pale skin, sharp jawline, dark hair dripping with rain. His eyes, cold silver, looked like moonlight trapped in ice. "Are you hurt?" he asked. His voice was deep, smooth, and strangely calming. No," Isabella stammered. I think I'm okay." "You shouldn't be here," he said. "I know," she whispered. "But thank you." He stepped closer, studying her face deeply, too deeply, like he was looking into her soul. "What's your name?" he asked. "Isabella." His eyes flickered with something she couldn't understand. "You need to go home, Isabella Romano." She froze. "How do you know my—" He cut her off coldly. "Go home. And never come back here." "But—" "Leave," he growled, eyes flashing brighter. Isabella's heart pounded. Fear. Confusion. Something else. Something warm. Will I see you again?" she asked before she could stop herself. The man stared at her for a long time. "No," he finally said. "You must not." But as he turned to disappear into the dark, Isabella heard him whisper, "Your blood, it's calling trouble." A shiver ran through her. What did that mean? Isabella looked up, but he was gone, vanished into the night like he was never there. Her life would never be the same again. Isabella barely slept that night. Her mind replayed everything, the glowing eyes, the shadow creatures, and most of all him. Who was he? And how did he know her name? By morning, she finally gathered enough courage to go downstairs. Her father was waiting at the dining table, his expression made of stone. "Where were you?" Marcus asked without looking up from his coffee. "Out," Isabella replied, sitting down. He slammed his cup on the table. "Don't play games with me." She flinched but held her ground. "I needed air," she said. "I'm not a child." "You left this house," he said, voice trembling with anger. "Do you have any idea what could have happened to you?" "Oh, trust me," Isabella muttered. "I found out." Marcus looked up sharply. "What does that mean?" Isabella hesitated. Should she tell him? Would he even believe her? She took a deep breath. "I was attacked," she said quietly. "By things. I don't know what they were." Marcus's face drained of color. "And someone saved me," she continued. "A man. A man." Marcus repeated, voice turning dark. "Who?" "I don't know his name," Isabella said truthfully. "But he knew mine." Marcus stood so quickly the chair fell over. "No," he whispered. "Not him." Isabella frowned. "You know him." Marcus didn't answer. He grabbed his phone and barked orders. "Double the guards. Lock every entrance. No one comes in or out without my permission. Isabella is not to leave the house." Isabella stood up angrily. "You can't lock me in here." "Oh yes I can," Marcus snapped. "If he has found you, you are in more danger than you can imagine." "Who is he?" Isabella demanded. "Tell me." "He is someone you must stay far away from," Marcus growled. That only made her curiosity grow stronger. That night, Isabella couldn't take it anymore. Her father was hiding something. The man she met was hiding something. Everyone was hiding something. So she did the one thing she was best at. She snuck out again. She returned to the same street, her heart pounding. The air felt colder, heavier, as if the night itself was watching her. Suddenly, she felt a presence behind her. "You again," a familiar deep voice said. Isabella spun around. There he was, the man from last night. He stepped out of the shadows, silver eyes glowing faintly. "Why did you come back?" he asked, voice low. "Because I have questions," she said boldly. "Wrong answer," he hissed. "You're playing with forces that will destroy you." He took a step toward her, frustration in his eyes. "You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't even be alive after last night." "Well," she said softly, "you saved me." He looked away, jaw tight. "That was a mistake." "Why?" Isabella whispered. "Why is it a mistake to save someone?" "Because saving you puts my entire clan at risk," he said. "And it puts you in more danger." She swallowed. "What are you?" she asked. "I know you're not normal." He stared at her for a moment. Then he said the words that changed everything. "I'm a vampire." Isabella's breath left her body. "A vampire?" "Yes," he said slowly. "And I'm not just any vampire. I'm the alpha of the Blackthorn clan." Her heart raced. Alpha, meaning leader, meaning dangerous. And those creatures that attacked me, she whispered. Rogues, he said. Creatures born from dark magic. They hunt anything with strong blood. Strong blood, Isabella repeated. What does that mean? He stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. It means you, he whispered. Your blood, it's powerful. Calls to darkness. That's why they came for you. Isabella's pulse quickened. Why me? She asked, voice shaking. He hesitated, then said something that shook her to her core. Because you're not as human as you think. Her breath caught. What do you mean? I'm human. He shook his head slowly. No, Isabella. Something is waking inside you. I can feel it. She stepped back, heart pounding. That's impossible. It's the truth, he said calmly. Your blood is changing. Your scent, your heartbeat, everything. He moved closer until he was only inches away. You need to stay away from me, he said softly. From my world. From this district. Before it's too late. Too late for what? She whispered. He looked at her with a mixture of warning and sadness. For your fate to bind with mine. Isabella swallowed hard. What's your name? She asked. For a moment he didn't answer. Then he finally said, Adrian. Adrian Blackthorn. The name rolled through her like a storm. Adrian, she whispered. Will I see you again? He closed his eyes as if pained. I hope not, he said. Why? Because the more you see me, the more danger you're in. Isabella's voice trembled. Then why do I feel safe with you? Adrian's eyes opened slowly. So did his secrets. So did her fate. So did their bond. It doesn't matter what you feel, he whispered. Feelings will get you killed. Then he faded back into the darkness and disappeared, leaving Isabella alone in the cold night. But no longer the same girl she was before. Something had begun. Something dangerous. Something forbidden. Something neither of them could stop. The Romano mansion felt colder than usual the next morning, like the house itself could sense the tension building inside its walls. Isabella stepped through the front door quietly, wiping the rain from her hair. She thought maybe, just maybe, she could slip upstairs before her father noticed. But Marcus Romano was already waiting for her. He stood in the center of the living room, arms crossed, jaw clenched so hard it looked painful. Several mafia guards lined the walls, silent and tense. Isabella, Marcus said, voice chillingly calm. Where were you? Isabella stopped walking. Her heartbeat thudded loudly in her ears. I went for a walk, she said quietly. A walk, Marcus repeated, his voice rising. A walk. In that district. She felt her stomach drop. He knew. I don't know what you think. Oh, I know exactly what happened, he growled, stepping forward. You disobeyed me. You left this house. Again. Isabella raised her chin. She refused to be afraid. I'm not your prisoner, she said. I needed to breathe. Marcus slammed his hand against the table so hard she flinched. You could have died, he shouted. You have no idea the danger you're in. She stepped back, frustrated tears filling her eyes. Then explain it, she yelled. Stop treating me like a child. Stop keeping secrets. Marcus froze. The guards glanced nervously at each other. Isabella pushed on, voice cracking. What is going on? Why are there creatures out there? Why did someone save me? Why do they know my name? Why? Enough, Marcus snapped. But Isabella didn't stop. Why does everyone in this world know more about me than I do? Silence fell. Marcus's breath shook as he tried to compose himself. When he finally spoke again, his voice was low, almost frightened. Isabella, he said, I am protecting you from monsters. She stared at him. Monsters, she repeated. Like the ones that attacked me. He didn't answer. Like the man who saved me, she whispered, watching his reaction closely. Marcus stiffened. The silence told her everything. You know him, Isabella said quietly. Isabella, tell me who he is. Marcus ran a hand down his face, suddenly looking years older. He's dangerous, he said softly. He is the reason your mother. He stopped himself. My mother what? Isabella demanded. What about her? Marcus turned his back. We are done talking, he said. Guards lock down the house. No one enters. No one leaves. Two men stepped forward, hands ready to take her by the arms. Isabella backed away, tears burning her eyes. You can't control me, she whispered. Marcus looked at her with a mix of rage and desperation. I will do whatever it takes, he said, to keep you alive. The words hit her like a stone. Alive, not safe, not happy, just alive. Father, she whispered. Why are you so afraid of him? Marcus didn't answer. Instead, he barked another order. Double security. She is not to leave this mansion under any condition. The guards moved to escort her upstairs. Isabella jerked her arm away. Don't touch me, she snapped. She walked up the stairs herself, head held high, though her heart felt like it was tearing inside her chest. When she reached her room, she closed the door and sank onto her bed, shaking. Marcus knew Adrian. Not just knew him, feared him. Why? Who was Adrian Blackthorne? Why did her father, strong, ruthless, unstoppable Marcus Romano, react like he had seen a ghost when she mentioned him? Isabella stared out the window, the night sky stretching endlessly above her. She knew one thing for sure. Truth or danger, safety or chaos. She would find Adrian again. The rest of the day was torture. Guards stood outside her door. Her phone had been taken away. Every window was locked. But Isabella wasn't easily controlled. She had grown up in a mansion filled with secrets and guards. She knew every hidden corner, every weak spot, every quiet hallway. When the house finally fell silent around midnight, she made her move. She grabbed a dark coat, slipped on silent shoes, and pushed her window open. The alarm attached to the window blinked red, but she had learned long ago how to disable it. With one smooth twist of a wire, the light went dark. She climbed down the vines on the side of the house and landed on the grass below. Her heart raced, but adrenaline kept her moving. She hurried through the shadows, following the streets back toward the place she prayed Adrian would be. Back to Blackthorne District. The streets were emptier tonight. Colder. Darker. Isabella wrapped her coat tighter around herself as she walked deeper into the silent district. The buildings towered above her like old stone giants. He'll be here, she whispered. He has to be. A soft rustle came from her right. She turned quickly. Adrian, she called. No answer. Only the sound of distant dripping water. She hugged herself, suddenly feeling small in the dark. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe she shouldn't have come. You don't listen very well. She spun around. Adrian stepped out from the shadows. His silver eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the moonlight. His expression was hard, but she could see something else behind his anger, worry. I knew you'd come back, Adrian said, voice low. Isabella's breath hitched. He remembered her. You warned me, she said softly, but I needed answers. Adrian walked toward her, each step measured. You shouldn't be here, he said again. This place is dangerous for someone like you. Someone like me. Isabella repeated. You keep saying that. What does it mean? Adrian's jaw tightened. It means, he said carefully, that your blood is stronger than normal. Calls to dark things. Creatures smell you from a mile away. She swallowed hard. So last night those creatures, they smelled my blood? Yes, Adrian said. And more will come if you keep coming here. He stepped closer, voice softening just a little. I told you to stay away for your own safety. Why didn't you listen? Isabella met his gaze boldly. Because you know something about me, she said. Something my father won't tell me. And you're the only one who tells the truth. Adrian's expression broke for a moment. Surprise, frustration, maybe guilt. You shouldn't trust me, he said. I am not your friend. Then why did you save me? She asked quietly. Adrian paused. The silence between them felt alive. Finally he answered. Because, he said, I couldn't let you die. Isabella felt her heart flutter in her chest. Adrian looked away again, clearly irritated with himself. I shouldn't have stepped in, he muttered. Saving you cost me more than you know. What do you mean? She asked. My clan watches everything I do, he said. Any move I make puts them at risk. And the night I saved you, they saw everything. Are they angry? She whispered. Yes, he said sharply. And afraid. Afraid of me? Isabella asked, confused. Adrian looked at her like he was staring at a ticking bomb. They have every reason to be. That didn't make sense. Isabella was ordinary, quiet, human, or so she always thought. She stepped closer, voice trembling. Adrian, she said, am I really in danger? He nodded slowly. More than you can imagine. Because of what I am, she whispered. He didn't answer immediately. He just stared at her, long, deep, intense, like he was holding back a storm of secrets. Finally he spoke. You're changing, he said. Something inside you is awakening. I can feel it. Isabella's breath hitched. Changing, she repeated. Into what? Adrian didn't answer. But the shadow of his silence told her enough. She felt fear curl in her stomach. What's going to happen to me? She whispered. Adrian's voice softened. I wish I knew, he said. A gust of wind blew between them, carrying the scent of rain and smoke. Isabella took another step closer. Adrian, will you help me? He closed his eyes for a moment like her words hurt him. I shouldn't, he said. The more I help you, the more danger you bring to both of us. But you will, Isabella said quietly. Adrian's eyes opened slowly. Silver, bright, impossible to read. Your trouble, he said softly. You saved me twice, she whispered. Your trouble too. Despite himself, a tiny smirk tugged at the corner of his mouth. You shouldn't flirt with vampires, he said. It never ends well. Isabella ignored the warning. You still haven't told me why you saved me, she insisted. Adrian stepped even closer, so close she could feel the coldness of his presence, the electric pull between them. His voice dropped to a whisper. Because the moment I saw you, he said, I knew you would change everything. Her breathing hitched. And that terrifies me. Isabella stared into his glowing eyes, realizing something shocking. He wasn't just warning her. He was warning himself. Before she could speak again, he moved. In a blink, he vanished from where he stood, appearing behind her like a shadow-shifting form. Go home, Adrian whispered. Before you're seen. But, go. His voice wasn't angry. It wasn't strict. It was protective. And scared. She nodded slowly. But as she walked away, her heart pulled at her chest like a string tied to his. Adrian watched her leave, expression unreadable. When she disappeared into the night, he whispered something so soft the darkness barely heard it. Your fate and mine. They are already moving. The next morning came with gray skies and a heavy silence that sat over the Romano mansion like a storm waiting to break. Isabella walked through the hallway quietly, hoping today wouldn't explode into another fight. But the universe had other plans. She stopped when she heard voices from her father's private office. Low, angry voices. She shouldn't eavesdrop. But she did. Blackthorn. Marcus growled from inside. You're telling me Adrian Blackthorn was seen in my district? Near my daughter? Another voice, deep, raspy, answered. Yes, boss. Witnesses said they saw him. The Alpha himself. Marcus swore under his breath. That monster, he snapped. His clan should have been wiped out long ago. Isabella pressed her back against the wall, her heart pounding. Monster. Wiped out. What was happening? The advisor continued. Sir, if the Blackthorn Alpha was near your daughter, it means trouble, Marcus cut in. It means the prophecy might be moving again. Isabella's breath caught. Prophecy. She leaned closer. Marcus, the advisor said, we can't ignore it this time. If the girl is beginning to. Marcus slammed his fist on the desk. She is not beginning anything, he roared. She is my daughter. She will remain human. Do you understand me? Human. The word stung. Sounded like a lie. The advisor sighed heavily. Marcus, if her mother were alive. Do not bring her into this. Marcus barked. Isabella felt pain twist inside her chest. Her mother. Always a shadow. Always a mystery. She heard Marcus's voice soften, only slightly. I lost her because of him, Marcus whispered. Because of that vampire. Because of the Blackthorn clan. Isabella gasp slipped out before she could stop it. The room went silent. No. The door flew open. Marcus stood in the doorway, eyes blazing. How long were you standing there? He demanded. Isabella swallowed, backing up slightly. Long enough, she whispered. Long enough to know you're hiding everything from me. Marcus stepped toward her, fury in every movement. You will stay away from that district, he said. And from the Blackthorn name. Why? Isabella shouted. Why do you hate them? What did they do? Marcus grabbed her shoulders, his voice breaking between anger and pain. They destroyed our family, he yelled. They took your mother from me. They took everything. Isabella froze. What? She whispered. They killed her. Marcus hesitated, jaw clenching. It was their fault, he said. Their war. Their curse. Their blood. Isabella's stomach twisted. This wasn't hatred. This was vengeance. Adrian didn't hurt me, Isabella said quietly. He saved me. Marcus's grip tightened painfully. Of course he saved you, Marcus spat. You're valuable to them. They need you for their sick prophecy. What prophecy? She cried. Tell me. But Marcus let go of her suddenly, stepping back like she had turned into fire. Nothing, he snapped. Forget it. I can't forget what you won't explain. Isabella shouted. You must, Marcus said coldly. Because knowing the truth will destroy you. No, Isabella whispered. It's the secrets that are destroying me. Marcus didn't answer. Instead, he walked back into his office and slammed the door. The conversation was over. But Isabella's world was just starting to unravel. Later that evening, Isabella slipped into the mansion's underground archives. She had never been allowed to enter, but she needed answers. The dusty room smelled of old paper and secrets. Shelves lined the walls with files dating back centuries. She found a folder labeled Blackthorn Clan, Enemy Dossier. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside were old photographs, maps, and documents describing battles between the Romani family and the Blackthorn vampires. One note caught her eye. The Blackthorn Alpha swore a blood oath. No peace until the Romano bloodline ends. Isabella gasped. Blood oath. She flipped to another page. Prophecy. A child of mixed blood will rise to break the power of one clan and destroy the other. Mixed blood. Her breath hitched. This can't be about me, she whispered. But deep inside something twisted. Something that felt like truth. A sudden cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the small lamp she had lit. Isabella spun around. Someone was there. But she saw nothing. Only the lingering echo of energy. Her heart raced. Adrian, she whispered. But the darkness stayed silent. Only her own thoughts screamed the truth. The world she lived in was not the world she thought she knew. And she was in the center of a centuries-old war she never asked for. The next morning, Isabella woke with a violent jolt. Her senses were blazing. She could hear everything. The ticking of a clock downstairs, the whispers of guards outside, even the heartbeat of someone in the next room. Her skin tingled with heat. Her vision sharpened. Colors looked too bright. Sounds too loud. What's happening to me? She whispered, clutching her head. She stood slowly, but her legs felt strange, stronger, lighter, like she could run a mile without breathing. Her heart pounded faster. A burning sensation spread through her veins like liquid fire. She stumbled to the mirror. Her reflection looked the same, but not. Her eyes were brighter. Her skin glowed faintly. Her pupils were slightly sharper, almost inhuman. No, she whispered. No, no, no. Panic surged inside her. She ran to the door and threw it open, startling the guard stationed outside. Miss Isabella. You're not supposed to. She didn't hear the rest. His voice echoed painfully too loud. She clapped her hands over her ears. Stop shouting, she cried. The guard blinked. I'm barely speaking. But to Isabella it felt like thunder. She pushed past him, her footsteps unnaturally fast. She reached the end of the hallway in less than a second. What? She whispered. How did I? Before she could process it, someone grabbed her arm. Isabella. It was Marcus. She jerked away, breath coming fast. Don't touch me, she cried. Marcus froze when he saw her eyes. God, he whispered. It's starting. What's starting? Isabella gasped. What's happening to me? Marcus swallowed hard. You need to calm down, he said gently. I can't. Isabella sobbed. Everything feels wrong. Can hear things, smell things, see things. What's happening to me? Marcus looked like a man watching his worst nightmare begin. Your mother tried to stop this, he whispered. I tried to stop this. What? Isabella cried. Stop what? Marcus stepped closer, his voice breaking. You're awakening. Awakening into what? She whispered. Marcus hesitated. Then said the words that shattered everything she believed. You're not fully human, Isabella. Her heart stopped. No, she whispered. No, that's not true. It is, Marcus said softly. Your mother, she wasn't human. She was something else. Something rare. Something powerful. Isabella backed away, shaking her head violently. Stop, she begged. Just stop. You're changing, Marcus said. Your blood is waking up. If we don't control it, you will lose yourself to it. Lose myself. Isabella whispered. Into what? Marcus swallowed hard, unable to say it. But Isabella already knew. Adrian had told her. Her heart raced. Her body burned. Her soul trembled. She ran. Out of the hallway. Out of the back door. Out into the cold, dark night. She didn't know where she was going. But her heart did. Her feet carried her through the streets, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Didn't make sense. It wasn't natural. She knew only one thing. She needed Adrian. Rain began to fall as she reached the edge of Blackthorn District. Her lungs burned, her body shaking with fear and heat. Suddenly, a shadow moved at the end of the alley. She froze. Isabella. The voice was deep. Familiar. Adrian stepped into the light. His eyes widened the moment he saw her. You came back, he whispered. Then he stiffened. No. You're changing. Isabella's breath shook. Please, she whispered. Help me. Adrian was at her side in less than a second. His hand catching her before she collapsed. Her body trembled violently. Your blood is awakening, he murmured. I told you. I told you this day would come. I don't understand, she cried against his chest. Make it stop. Please. Adrian held her tightly, his cold hands steadying her burning body. I can't stop it, Adrian said softly. But I can help you through it. He sobbed weakly. Adrian, am I one of you? Adrian looked at her with devastating gentleness. You're something more, he whispered. She felt her vision blur, her heartbeat thundering in her ears. Then she collapsed fully into his arms. Adrian caught her effortlessly, lifting her as if she weighed nothing. You were right to come to me, he whispered into her hair. You're not safe anywhere else. Lightning crackled in the sky. Thunder boomed overhead. And Adrian carried Isabella deeper into the shadows of Blackthorn District. Toward the truth. Toward her destiny. Toward the life she never knew she belonged to. While the war between her bloodlines began to awaken around her. The Romano mansion was too quiet that morning. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. This one felt heavy, like the house was holding its breath. The guards were already lined along the hall, faces stiff, eyes down. They didn't dare look at Isabella as she walked past. She felt drained, weak even. Last night's strange sensations still clung to her skin like shadows. Her hearing had sharpened so intensely that she could hear the heartbeat of a guard 3 doors away. Her body was changing and she didn't understand why. Her father, Marcus Romano, waited for her in his study. His sanctuary, a place he rarely allowed anyone inside. When she stepped in, he was already standing, his jaw tight, his expression darker than usual. "Sit, Isabella," he said. His voice was calm, too calm, and that alone terrified her. Marcus Romano didn't do calm. Not unless something dangerous was coming. "I didn't sleep well," Isabella whispered as she sank into the leather chair. Marcus studied her face carefully. "I can tell. Something is happening to you." Her heart raced. "Dad. You know, don't you? Something has been wrong with me for days. Can hear things. Smell things. I feel angry and scared and confused all at once. I don't feel human." Marcus closed his eyes painfully. "You're not." The whole world went silent. Isabella stared at him, frozen. What do you mean I'm not?" Marcus walked to the window, his hands trembling as he pressed them against the glass. "I prayed this day would never come." "Dad." Her voice cracked. "Tell me." He inhaled deeply. "Your mother. Elena, she wasn't human." Isabella's breath caught. She felt her heart drop into her stomach. "What was she?" "A vampire," he said quietly. The words slammed into Isabella like a bullet. She stood up so quickly the chair nearly tipped. "No. Well, that's impossible." She backed away. Mom was gentle. She was soft. She read me bedtime stories. She held me when I cried. "Vampires are monsters, Dad. How could you?" Marcus turned sharply. "They're not all monsters." "Then why did you kill them?" she screamed. "Why did you raise me to fear them? Why did you make me believe they were nightmares hiding in the dark?" Marcus flinched like she had stabbed him. "You were a child," he whispered. "And I needed you to stay away from their world." Isabella felt tears burn her eyes. "Why?" "Because your mother died protecting you from them." Her chest tightened painfully. "Protecting me from who?" Marcus hesitated. "Tell me," she shouted. His voice broke. "Her own family." Isabella felt the room tilt. Her legs almost gave out. "My mother, a vampire princess. And her family wanted me dead?" Marcus nodded slowly. "Your birth was forbidden. A vampire princess and a mafia human. Their laws forbid such a union. They wanted to erase the shame of your existence." Isabella pressed a hand to her mouth as tears rolled down her cheeks. "And the Blackthorn clan? Adrian's people? Were they part of it?" "No," Marcus said. "The Blackthorns defended Elena until her last breath." Isabella froze. What did you say?" "They tried to save her," Marcus said. "Adrian's father even gave his life trying to stop the attack on the safe house where you were hidden. But Elena still died. And I..." His voice shook. "I killed every vampire involved. I swore to wipe out any clan connected to her family." Isabella felt her world break apart piece by piece. "And now," Marcus said quietly, "your mother's blood is waking inside you. You're becoming what she was. The vampire bloodline you carry is strong and dangerous." She shook her head, trembling. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Marcus stepped toward her carefully. "Because if you knew, you would have gone looking for answers. And answers lead you to vampires. To danger. Too late," Isabella whispered bitterly. "I already met one." Marcus' eyes darkened instantly. The one who saved you that night. His name is Adrian, she said softly. Marcus' expression turned to raw fury. You will never see him again. Isabella clenched her fists. You can't stop me. I can, Marcus snapped. And I will. I'll end him myself if I must. Isabella's voice came out as a whisper. Why do you hate him? He didn't kill Mom. His people tried to help. Marcus' face went cold. Because he is the alpha heir. Because his clan is powerful. Because you are vulnerable around him. And because if the vampire world discovers who you are, what you are, every clan will want to use you, kill you or claim you. Isabella wiped her tears. I'm not a weapon. To them you are, Marcus said. And to some, you're the prophecy. Her heart dropped again. What prophecy? The one that says a half-blood child will rise and either destroy the vampires, or rule them. Isabella felt her breath freeze. Marcus gripped her shoulders. Listen to me, Isabella. I didn't keep this from you to hurt you. I kept it from you to keep you alive. I already lost your mother. I won't lose you too. Isabella pulled away sharply. You already lost me the moment you lied. She turned and walked out before he could stop her, leaving Marcus staring at the door with pain carved deep into his face. Isabella didn't sleep that night. She sat on her balcony with the moon casting cold silver light over her skin. Her mother, a vampire princess. Her own blood, awakening. Prophecy. A war she didn't ask for. Everything she knew was a lie. Her heart felt weighted, beating painfully against her ribcage. And Adrian. He had known something was strange about her. He had sensed it before she did. Had he known the truth? Had he played with her feelings? Only one person could give her answers. Isabella slipped out of the mansion while the guards changed shifts. Her body moved lightly, almost too lightly. Her steps were faster, sharper. Her senses had grown stronger in just one day. It frightened her. But she didn't stop. She reached the abandoned church where Adrian had told her never to return. The place where she first learned that the world wasn't what she thought it was. The church door creaked open slowly. And there he was. Adrian stood near the altar, looking like a shadow carved into the moonlight. His eyes glowed faintly, silver and haunting. His posture was rigid, tense, and dangerous. He didn't look surprised. I knew you'd come, Adrian said softly. His voice alone made her knees weak. Did you know? Isabella asked immediately. Did you know what I was? Adrian's jaw tightened. I suspected. Her heart sank. You didn't tell me. You weren't ready. No, she snapped. You didn't trust me. Adrian stepped closer, his movements smooth, almost too perfect. Isabella, listen. Don't. She stepped back. My entire life was a lie. My father hid the truth. My mother died because of it. And you, her voice broke. You could have helped me understand. Adrian's face softened with regret. I wanted to. But your father has made you hate vampires. And your mother's death. It's a wound that never healed. If I told you too soon, you would have run from me. No. I couldn't risk losing you. Isabella swallowed hard. My father told me about the prophecy. Adrian's expression flickered, an emotion she couldn't read. So it's real, she whispered. I'm some half-blood weapon everyone wants. You're not a weapon, Adrian said fiercely. You're the most powerful being our world has seen in centuries. That doesn't make me feel better, she muttered bitterly. Adrian hesitated, then looked away. Your father is already preparing for war. She froze. What? He plans to wipe out every vampire clan connected to your mother's bloodline, Adrian said. And he thinks my clan is part of it. Isabella felt her stomach drop. But they're not. I know, Adrian said quietly. But Marcus Romano has never cared about truth. Only revenge. Isabella shook her head, pacing. No. I have to warn him. This is a mistake. This will start a war. Adrian suddenly grabbed her arm gently but firmly. Isabella, stop. She looked at him, confused and scared. His voice turned cold. Do you think I didn't know why you came tonight? What do you mean? Adrian's eyes darkened, but not in anger, in hurt. You came to find out where my clan is. So you can warn your father. What? No. Isabella gasped. But Adrian stepped back, wounded. You think I can't sense fear? Or betrayal? You reek of it. Isabella's chest tightened painfully. Adrian, I swear I'm not here to betray you. Then what are you here for? His voice was sharp, cracking with emotion. To choose us. Or to choose him. Tears filled her eyes. I came because I needed answers. Because I'm scared. Because everything I am is falling apart. Adrian's expression softened. But the damage was already done. You should go, Isabella, he whispered. Before this becomes something neither of us can escape. She shook her head. Adrian, please. But he stepped back into the shadows. Leave, he said. Before my clan thinks you're a spy. The word stabbed her like a knife. Spy, she repeated brokenly. Is that really what you think I am? Adrian didn't answer. And that silence hurt more than any words. Isabella swallowed her sob, turned around and walked out into the night. Her heart felt like it was shattering with every step. Behind her, hidden by the shadows, Adrian stood watching her leave. His own chest rising and falling as if he were barely holding himself together. He whispered to the empty church. I'm trying to protect you. Even if it destroys me. But Isabella didn't hear it. And for the first time she truly felt alone. Human or vampire, it didn't matter. She belonged nowhere. And the real war had already begun. The next morning felt like a storm had settled inside Isabella's chest. She woke with swollen eyes, the memories of last night cutting deeper than any blade her father's enemies had ever held. Adrian had looked at her like she was a threat. Like she was poison. By. The word echoed over and over in her mind until her stomach twisted. Isabella dragged herself out of bed, but her legs felt unsteady, her body hot and restless. Her senses were sharper again, too sharp. She could hear every footstep in the mansion, every breath, every whispered conversation. It felt like the world was becoming too loud for her human body to hold. She went into the bathroom and stared into the mirror. Her eyes looked darker than before, slightly glowing under the light. Her jaw clenched. This is what he saw, she thought. Something changing. Something dangerous. She splashed water on her face, but the ache didn't fade. The thought of Adrian's voice, cold, distant, wounded, stabbed her again. Before my clan thinks you're a spy. Her heart cracked fresh every time she remembered it. Downstairs, the tension in the mansion had risen. Guards moved faster. Conversations stopped when she entered the hallway. Everyone seemed to know something she didn't. Her father was waiting in the dining room, his posture stiff, his expression unreadable. You were gone last night, Marcus said, not looking up from the newspaper. I went out, Isabella replied bluntly. Marcus slowly folded the paper, his eyes locking onto hers. To see him. She didn't answer. His jaw clenched. Isabella, you cannot keep meeting with that vampire. Something inside her snapped. Stop calling him that vampire, she yelled suddenly. He has a name. Adrian. Marcus stood up sharply. I don't care about his name. He is part of the world that killed your mother. And now that same world wakes inside you. Isabella didn't flinch. He didn't kill her. He will kill you, Marcus spat back. If not by choice, then because of what you're becoming. Isabella felt her throat tighten. I'm not helpless. You're transforming, Marcus said harshly. Your emotions are unstable. Your senses unpredictable. You have no control. At least I'm not lying like you. Isabella cried. My whole life was a lie. My mother. My blood. Everything. Marcus's expression softened for the first time since she entered. I did what I had to do. No, she whispered, trembling. You did what made you feel powerful. What made you feel like you still had control. Marcus swallowed hard. I can protect you. But only if you stay away from Adrian. From vampires. From anything tied to your mother's past. Isabella's voice cracked. Adrian is not my enemy. Marcus stared at her with a mixture of fear and frustration. Then why do you look like you're breaking? She froze. 'Cause she was. She turned away, unable to speak. She walked out of the room before her father saw the tears forming again. She needed air. Space. Distance. Her feet took her toward the mansion's garden, but as she stepped outside, her knees buckled. A wave of heat rushed through her body, followed by dizziness so intense she grabbed the stone wall to stay upright. Her senses exploded. The wind felt sharp on her skin, the sunlight too bright, every smell overwhelming. Her body was changing again. Faster now. Panic flooded her chest. No, 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 not now, she whispered, holding her head. I can't handle this alone. A sob escaped her, one of frustration, pain, and heartbreak. She slammed a fist into the stone wall without thinking. The wall cracked. Isabella stumbled back, staring at the deep fracture she had made with one single punch. She began shaking, not from fear, but from the feeling rising inside her. A hunger, a wildness, a force pressing against her bones, begging to break free. She wrapped her arms around herself. I need help, she whispered. But Adrian was gone. Her father didn't understand. And her mother, she had no one. Isabella sank to the ground and finally let herself cry. For her mother. For the truth. For the boy who thought she betrayed him. For herself. Her heart felt like a broken thing. And for the first time in her life, she didn't know how to fix it. Night fell heavy and silent over Hollow Creek. Isabella lay on her bed, curled up, exhausted from the whirlwind of emotions and the overwhelming sensations crashing through her body all day. She wished she could sleep, but her mind refused to rest. Her mother's secret. Her father's lies. Adrian's cold voice. Her own powers awakening. Everything was spiraling too fast. Her heart felt hollow. Outside her window, she felt it. Not heard. Not smelled. Not imagined. She felt him. A presence she could recognize even if blind, deaf, and numb. Her breath hitched. Adrian. Isabella pushed herself up from the bed slowly. She walked to the balcony and opened the glass doors. The cold wind rushed over her skin, calming and sharp at the same time. And there he was, standing in the shadows of the yard like a ghost stitched from moonlight and darkness. Adrian Blackthorne. His silver eyes lifted slowly and met hers. Isabella's breath caught. For a moment she forgot how to exist. He stepped into the moonlight and she saw it, the pain in his eyes. The exhaustion. The guilt. Something inside her cracked again. She clenched the balcony railing. Why are you here? Adrian looked up at her with an expression she had never seen on him. Vulnerable. Broken. I shouldn't be, he said quietly. Then leave, she whispered, even though her voice trembled. I can't. She froze. Adrian exhaled slowly, as if holding himself together by force. I felt you today, he said. Your panic. Pain. Your shift. His jaw tensed. I tried to ignore it. I tried to let you go. But every time your heartbeat changed, mine did too. Isabella swallowed hard. Don't say things like that. I mean every word, Adrian said, meeting her eyes. Her chest tightened painfully. He stepped closer, standing directly beneath her balcony. Isabella, I never wanted to hurt you. You did, she said softly. When you called me a spy. Adrian's face twisted. I didn't mean it. I wasn't thinking. I was scared. Of me, she whispered. Of losing you. Her breath caught again. Adrian looked down at his hands, flexing them like he was trying to rid himself of a memory. When you left that church. Felt it. Like something inside me tore. His voice grew rough. I've survived centuries. I've fought wars. I've lost people I cared about. But nothing hurt like watching you walk away. Isabella wiped a tear from her cheek. Then why did you push me away? Because if my clan knew what you were, they would try to claim you, or kill you before someone else does. His eyes darkened. Because the vampire world is built on fear and power. And you are a threat to everyone. I didn't ask to be, Isabella whispered. I know. Adrian's voice softened. And that's why I wanted to protect you. Even if it meant hurting both of us. Isabella leaned her head against the balcony pole, her voice shaking. I just needed you to tell me the truth. I'm telling you now, Adrian said. Everything. He looked up at her again, and she saw something raw in his eyes. I felt your blood awaken last night, he continued. I sensed it the moment your mother's lineage kicked in. Your heartbeat changed. Your aura shifted. It was like the world whispered your name. Isabella blinked, stunned. You felt all that? Yes. Because I'm Alpha. He paused. Because my soul is tied to yours more strongly than I wanted to admit. Isabella's chest tightened. Adrian. He took a step closer. I didn't approach you because of the prophecy. I didn't save you because of your blood. I didn't kiss you because of destiny. He lifted his eyes to hers, intense, burning, honest. I did all of it because I fell for you. The world stopped. Isabella's breath hitched. Tears slipped down her cheeks before she could stop them. Adrian's voice fell to a whisper. You're inside me in a way I can't undo. Isabella felt her heart crack open. Then why does it hurt so much? Because love is dangerous for us, he said softly. Because we are enemies by blood. Because your father wants my clan dead. Because your mother's prophecy destroys everything. He looked up at her with a helpless, aching expression. And because I want you more than I should. Isabella's grip tightened on the railing. Then come up. Adrian hesitated only a second before leaping, landing silently on her balcony with the grace of a shadow. They stood face to face, inches apart. The world felt too quiet, too still. Isabella lifted a trembling hand and touched his cheek. Adrian closed his eyes, leaning into her touch like he had been starving for it. You should hate me, he whispered. I tried, she whispered back. I can't. Adrian opened his eyes slowly, silver blazing with emotion. I'm sorry, he said, words he almost never used. For doubting you. For hurting you. For everything. Isabella's voice cracked. Just don't lie to me again. I won't, he whispered. Not now. Not ever. Then, without thinking, without planning, without fear, Isabella leaned forward. Adrian caught her waist gently, as if she were breakable, and pulled her into him. Their lips met in a kiss that was soft at first, then deeper, rawer, filled with everything they had been holding in. Pain, passion, fear, love. Isabella felt her heart steady for the first time in days. Adrian pulled back slowly, resting his forehead against hers. Whatever comes next, he whispered, we face it together. Isabella closed her eyes. I hope so, she breathed. Because the world is about to burn. And deep down she knew it was true. The war her father was preparing. The prophecy tied to her blood. Her growing powers. The fragile bond between vampire and mafia princess. Everything was setting the stage for something bigger, darker, and far more dangerous than either of them realized. But for this moment, they were together. And that was enough to breathe again. The night felt heavier than any Isabella had ever lived through. The air itself carried a strange pressure, like the world was holding its breath. Adrian hadn't left her side since the ritual. She lay on a velvet couch inside the Blackthorn Hall, wrapped in a dark blanket, feeling the last echoes of the burning awakening ripple through her veins. Her body was no longer the same. Her senses were sharp. Almost too sharp. Her blood felt alive. Her heart beat with a rhythm that didn't feel human anymore. But the worst part wasn't the transformation. It was the fear. Fear of what she was becoming. Fear of what her father would do. Fear of what she had awakened inside Adrian. He stood a few feet away, staring out the tall window, hands clasped behind his back. His jaw was tense, his posture stiff. He looked like a king preparing for war. "Adrian," Isabella whispered. He turned immediately. He was at her side so fast she barely saw him move. "How do you feel?" he asked softly. "Different," she whispered. "Like the world is louder, and my heart is trying to escape my chest." Adrian nodded slowly. "It will settle," he said. "Your body is accepting its true nature." She swallowed. "And what exactly is that?" Adrian hesitated, then sat beside her, his voice low. "You are half wolf and half vampire. A hybrid." The word hit her like a blow. Hybrid. She felt dizzy, like the world was tilting. "That doesn't exist," she whispered. "It does now," Adrian said. "Because your mother changed the future the moment she fell in love with Marcus Romano." Isabella looked away, her throat tight. "I didn't ask for this," she murmured. "I didn't ask to be anything." Adrian reached out, gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. "No one asked to be born into war," he said quietly. "But some of us are born to end it." Isabella stared at him, confused. "What do you mean?" Adrian hesitated, and for the first time she saw fear flicker in his eyes. "You are the prophecy," he whispered. "The one who can destroy a clan, or save both." Her breath caught. "Me. I'm supposed to choose who lives and who dies." Adrian didn't answer. He didn't need to. The truth was already sinking into her bones. She shook her head, tears burning her eyes. "I don't want any of this. Adrian, I just wanted to live a normal life. I just wanted to be free." Adrian's voice softened, almost breaking. "You will be free," he promised. "But not yet. We must survive the night first." As if summoned by fate, the castle doors burst open downstairs. A guard stumbled in, blood dripping down his arm. "Alpha," the guard panted. "They're here." Adrian's expression hardened. "Who?" he demanded. The guard swallowed. "The Romanos." Isabella froze. "Well, not like this. Not now." Before she could process it, a roar of engines echoed outside. Then boots. Hundreds of them. Adrian stood, his voice like thunder. "Prepare the hall. No one enters the inner chamber." Another guard ran in. "Alpha, Marcus Romano is demanding to see the girl." Isabella's heart plummeted. Her father. He had come for her, or for war. Adrian turned to Isabella. His eyes haunted but determined. "Stay behind me. Do not speak unless I say so." Isabella stood shakily, her body still adjusting to its new strength. "Adrian, please don't hurt him. He's my father." Adrian sighed softly, brushing her cheek. "I will do everything I can to avoid bloodshed," he said. "But I cannot promise safety if he attacks first." The doors to the main hall opened with a thunderous crash. Marcus Romano strode in like a man carved from rage and grief. Dozens of mafia enforcers followed him, guns drawn. His eyes locked on Isabella instantly. "Bella," he whispered, broken. For a second, just a second, he looked like her father again. The man who once carried her on his shoulders. The man who promised to protect her from everything. But then his gaze shifted to Adrian. His face turned to stone. "You," he growled. "You took her from me." Adrian stepped forward, calm as night. "She came to me," Adrian said. "She was dying. I saved her." Marcus's voice shook. "You poisoned her with your blood." Isabella stepped forward before Adrian could stop her. "No, Papa," she said. "I changed because of what I am. Because of who Mama was." Marcus went pale. "Isabella, don't say that." "It's true," she whispered. "I heard you. I saw the archives. Mama wasn't human." Marcus shook his head violently. "She was my wife. She was good. And being supernatural made her bad." Isabella asked softly. Marcus didn't answer. He couldn't. Adrian spoke, voice steady. Marcus Romano, she is no longer human. She needs protection, guidance, a safe place among those who understand her blood. Marcus turned on him, fire in his eyes. She needs her father, not you, not your cursed clan. Isabella stepped beside Adrian. Papa, she whispered, voice trembling. I'm not the daughter you thought I was. I'm not fully human. I'm not fully wolf. I'm not fully vampire. But I'm still me. Marcus looked at her like the world was collapsing. You are my daughter, he said, voice breaking. And I will burn this entire district to the ground before I let them take you. The room trembled with the force of his anger. Adrian stepped forward, unflinching. I'm not taking her, he said. But I will fight to keep her alive. Marcus snarled. She wouldn't need saving if not for you. Papa, please. Isabella cried, stepping between them. I don't want a war. I don't want anyone to die because of me. But Marcus wasn't listening. His voice thundered through the hall. Romanos! Take her! The enforcers surged forward. Adrian moved faster. Faster than any human could see. He swept Isabella behind him, fangs flashing, eyes blazing with alpha power. The two sides collided. But before a single gunshot could fire, before claw or fang could strike, a blast of energy erupted from Isabella's body. A shockwave of silver and crimson light tore through the hall. Everyone froze. Everyone except Adrian, who steadied her as her legs buckled. Marcus stared at her in absolute horror. What did you just do?" he whispered. Isabella looked at her trembling hands. I don't know. But Adrian did. He whispered the truth she wasn't ready to hear. Your hybrid power just awakened. Silence filled the shattered hall. Dust floated through the air. Cracks split across the walls. Weapons clattered to the floor. Every man, Romanos and Blackthorn vampires alike, stood frozen in stunned disbelief. Isabella's power had thrown them all back without a single touch. Her chest heaved as she tried to breathe through the trembling in her hands. What did I just do? She whispered. Adrian stepped closer, eyes full of awe. You released your first surge, he murmured. A hybrid's pulse. It only happens when your bloodline tries to protect you. Marcus was still staring at her like she was a ghost. Isabella, you nearly killed my men. I didn't mean to, she cried. Papa, I swear I didn't know this would happen. Marcus stepped toward her, voice softer now. Too soft, like a man walking through a nightmare. My little girl, he whispered. What have they turned you into? Isabella's heart ached. No one turned me into anything, she said. This is who I've always been. You just kept it hidden. Marcus flinched. Adrian's voice cut through the tension. Marcus, she is changing fast. If she stays in a place that denies her nature, it will kill her. Marcus glared at him. And you expect me to trust a vampire? No, Adrian said calmly. I expect you to trust your daughter. Isabella stepped closer to her father. Papa, I'm scared, she whispered. He swallowed hard. I know, he said. I know, Bella. But I can't go home, she whispered. I can feel it. The walls, the lights, the noise. Everything hurts. I don't belong there anymore. Marcus's eyes glistened. Just once, just for a second. Then you belong with me, he said desperately. We will fix this. We always fix things. Isabella shook her head painfully. This isn't something you can fix with guns or rage, she pleaded. I need someone who understands both sides of me. Marcus stiffened. His eyes shifted to Adrian. And for a moment, Isabella was afraid they would kill each other. Adrian met Marcus's stare without fear. I don't want to take her from you, Adrian said slowly. But I will protect her with my life. Marcus scoffed. Pretty promise from a bloodsucker. But Isabella grabbed Marcus's hands. Papa, she begged. Please don't make me choose between you and surviving. Marcus froze. Her words broke something inside him. Something deep. Something old. something made of grief and fear and the ghost of the woman he lost. He looked away. He couldn't look at her. Hurt too much. Adrian spoke again, steady, respectful but unyielding. She must stay here tonight. Her strength is unstable. She could hurt someone or herself. Marcus clenched his fists. You expect me to leave her in this hellhole? No, Adrian replied. I expect you to let her live. Marcus's jaw tightened. Every instinct in him screamed to take Isabella and run. But even he couldn't deny what he'd seen. Her power had nearly destroyed the hall. If she lost control again, she could level a city block. Marcus turned away, his shoulders trembling. I can't lose you, he whispered. Isabella hugged him tightly. You won't, she said. But right now, I need to be here. Marcus didn't speak for a long moment. Then slowly, painfully, he nodded. Just once. A single nod that felt like the shattering of a kingdom. He turned to his men. Stand down, he commanded, voice hollow. The enforcers lowered their weapons, confused but obedient. Adrian stepped beside Isabella, placing a protective hand on her waist. Marcus saw it. His eyes hardened, protective, helpless, furious, but he didn't fight it. Not this time. Marcus glared at Adrian one last time. If she dies, he said, voice shaking, I burn your clan to ash. Adrian nodded. If she dies, he answered, I die first. Marcus's chest rose sharply. Like that answer cut him in a place he didn't expect. He turned away. Romanos, we're leaving. The men filed out. The doors closed. Silence. Isabella sagged, exhausted. Adrian caught her. You did well, he murmured. I almost killed everyone, she whispered. No, he said softly. You survived your awakening. That is strength. Her eyes filled with tears. Why me? She asked. Why was I chosen for this? I'm not special. Adrian cupped her face gently. You are the rarest blood in existence, he said. The one who stands above wolves and vampires alike. She trembled. I don't want to stand above anyone. Adrian smiled softly. Then you will stand where you choose. Not where destiny forces you. He pulled her into his chest as she finally broke down, sobbing silently. He held her through every tremor, every tear, every breath. Outside, thunder cracked across the sky. Loud, violent, echoing the chaos inside her. Tonight, Isabella Romano didn't just awaken. She became something the world had never seen. Hybrid. A weapon. A miracle. Threat. Hope. And the war between bloodlines would never be the same again. The sky that night was bruised with red clouds, swirling like something alive. A strange wind howled through the Blackthorn territory, carrying whispers Isabella could almost understand. She stood on the balcony of Adrian's private chamber, gripping the railing as her senses throbbed with intensity. Her body was no longer simply reacting. It was transforming. Her heartbeat was too strong. Her vision flickered between hazy and painfully sharp. Every sound felt like it existed inside her bones. Below her, the gardens trembled as if the earth itself was afraid. Isabella closed her eyes. Breathe. Just breathe. But every inhale carried the scent of shadows. Every exhale felt like fire leaking from her lungs. She heard footsteps behind her. Soft, controlled, familiar. Adrian. He stepped onto the balcony and stopped beside her. The wind blew his dark hair back, revealing a face carved from calm worry. How long has this been happening? He asked quietly. All day, she whispered. Every few minutes something inside me jumps. Like part of me is trying to get out. Adrian studied her carefully. It's your wolf, he said. She is waking. The vampire in you awakened first because of the blood ritual. But the wolf, she rises when the moon pulls her. Isabella looked at the sky, where a thick layer of clouds hid the moon. There's no moon, she whispered. Adrian shook his head slowly. Look closer. She frowned, staring harder. Clouds shifted. And she saw it. A second moon. A faint red shadow glowing beside the real one. "What is that?" Isabella breathed. Adrian's voice was low and solemn. "The blood moon twin. It appears only for hybrid awakenings. It signals the merging. Tonight, your wolf and vampire sides will fight each other." He shivered. "And what happens if one side wins?" Adrian's jaw tightened. "Then you lose the other half of yourself," he said. "Forever." Her stomach twisted painfully. "So if the wolf wins, I lose the vampire?" "Yes." "And if the vampire wins, I lose the wolf?" "Yes." "And which one do I need to stay alive?" Adrian finally turned to her fully, worry etched deeply in his face. "Both." Isabella felt faint. He continued softly. "This night can kill you, Isabella." She grabbed the railing, her voice trembling. "I don't want to choose between them. I don't want to lose either half." "You won't," Adrian said firmly. "Not while I'm here." She looked up at him. "Adrian, what if I become something terrible? Something uncontrollable?" He stepped close, cupping her face gently. "Then I will hold you until the monster remembers your name." Her breath hitched. "Adrian, I won't lose you," he whispered. But before she could speak, the wind whipped violently around them. Her vision blurred. Her chest seized. She collapsed to her knees with a cry. "Isabella!" Adrian dropped beside her, catching her. Agony tore through her bones. Hot, sharp, electric. Her spine arched. Her nails grew. Her fangs sharpened. Her eyes burned bright silver, then deep crimson, then silver again. The fight had begun. "Adrian, it hurts," she gasped. "I know," he said, voice breaking. "Hold on to me." "I can't." "Yes, you can." Her body convulsed. A scream tore from her throat, too deep, too wild, too primal. Something inside her was clawing, ripping, tearing. The wolf, the vampire, both demanding to be the dominant one. The balcony cracked beneath her. Lightning split the sky. "Let it out," Adrian whispered fiercely. "But do not let it choose for you. You choose. You." But she could barely hear him. All she heard was the pulse of blood, and the howl of the wolf, and the hunger of the vampire. Her vision faded, and darkness swallowed her whole. Isabella opened her eyes to a forest, one made of shadow and moonlight, glowing red. She was standing in the center of it. Two figures approached her through the trees. One was a huge white wolf, eyes piercing silver. The other was a tall, dark silhouette with glowing crimson eyes. They circled her slowly. The wolf growled. The vampire smirked. "Choose," they said together. I don't want to choose," Isabella whispered. The wolf snarled. The vampire's fangs extended. "Choose," they demanded again. "No," she cried. "I need both of you. I am both." They lunged at her. She raised her hands, and a blast of white-red light exploded from her chest. The forest shattered. The shadows broke. The figures dissolved into dust. And Isabella screamed as the two halves of her blood crashed together, merging, fusing, claiming, awakening. Light consumed everything. Isabella woke with a violent gasp. She was in Adrian's arms on the shattered balcony. Her body was glowing with both silver and crimson veins. Adrian stared at her in stunned awe. "Isabella, your eyes." She blinked. Her eyes shimmered with dual colors. One silver, one red. She felt powerful, alive, balanced. "I did it," she whispered. "I chose myself." Adrian touched her cheek gently. "No, Isabella," he murmured, voice thick with emotion. "You became the impossible." The next morning the world felt different. The storm had passed. The moons were gone. But something enormous lingered in the air. Something ancient, powerful, and irreversible. Isabella stood before the tall mirror in Adrian's chamber, examining the new version of herself. Her skin glowed faintly. Her posture was stronger. Her aura felt like a storm wrapped in silk. She was no longer torn between halves. She was the balance. Adrian entered quietly, watching her with soft awe. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Whole," she whispered. For the first time. He approached her slowly. "You survived what should have killed you. No hybrid in history has ever merged both sides. You're the first. The strongest." Isabella turned to him. "That doesn't mean the world will accept me." "No," Adrian said. "But they won't be able to ignore you either." Before she could respond, the doors slammed open. Lucian, Adrian's second in command, ran in, breathless. "Alpha! The Romanos, they're outside." Adrian stiffened. "What?" Lucian swallowed. "They came back. But not for war." Adrian looked at Isabella. "Are you ready?" he asked softly. She nodded. "I have to be." Outside the Blackthorn estate, hundreds of mafia enforcers stood in a tense line. In the center was Marcus Romano. His expression was unreadable. Isabella stepped forward, strong, regal, glowing with power. Marcus's breath caught. "Bella," he whispered. "You've changed." "I've awakened," she corrected gently. Marcus's jaw tightened. "I came to see if you're still my daughter." Isabella walked up to him until they stood only inches apart. "Papa, I will always be your daughter," she said softly. "But I'm not just yours anymore. I belong to myself now." Marcus closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were wet. "I thought I lost you," he whispered. "You didn't," she said. "You just have to share me with who I truly am." Marcus exhaled shakily. "And who is that?" Isabella turned, slowly, confidently, toward Adrian, who stood behind her like a dark angel. She took Adrian's hand and faced her father. "I am Isabella Romano Blackthorn," she said. "Daughter of a mafia king, heir to supernatural blood, and the first hybrid queen." Marcus looked between them. His daughter glowing with impossible power, and the vampire who would die for her. Finally, slowly, painfully, he nodded. "I will not fight you," Marcus said. "Either of you." Adrian bowed his head in respect. Isabella blinked back tears. "Thank you, Papa." Marcus stepped forward. "Come home," he whispered. "Visit. Speak to me. Don't disappear." "I won't," Isabella promised. Marcus gave a single, strained smile. Then he turned to his men. "We leave." The Romanos withdrew peacefully for the first time in history. Adrian stepped to Isabella's side. "You changed everything," he murmured. She smiled softly. "No, Adrian. We changed everything." He brushed a thumb over her cheek. "What now, my hybrid queen?" Isabella lifted her chin as the rising sun painted the world gold. "Now," she said, "we make peace between our worlds." She took his hand. "And then we build our own." Adrian smiled, the rare, dangerous, beautiful smile he only gave to her. "Then let the new era begin." And together, they walked into a future no prophecy had ever dared to imagine, where a hybrid girl and an alpha vampire rewrote destiny, with love strong enough to unite two empires. If you want more heart-stopping supernatural romance, dark secrets, and twists you never see coming, hit that subscribe button and join our world of forbidden love. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.